Along the seacoasts and harbors of America is found that beautiful and useful bird, the seagull. Its white wings arched and beating against the blue sky are a familiar sight above the tumbling waves and the golden beaches of the Pacific coast, where it is often seen in company with the great-winged white pelican and the double-crested cormorant. It is easy to distinguish between these three musketeers of the Pacific skyways. The adult California gull is white underneath with a gray mantle, black wingtips, and a bright bill with a red spot on the lower part. Its eyelids are yellow. Its feet and legs are greenish. Its wings are long and pointed, efficient for remaining in the air with a minimum of effort, yet designed for fast gliding. The flight of the seagulls is rapid, powerful, and long-sustained, even in heavy gales. When necessary, they can travel at more than 50 miles an hour. Pelicans, too, are amazingly swift and strong in flight. Often they travel in single file. The bones of these great seabirds are very light. The skeleton of a 25-pound pelican weighs only 23 ounces. Close up, the pelican is rather awkward-looking with its short legs and heavy body. Its pouch and bill are yellow, and the feet are yellow, tinged with red. Of course, its best-known feature is the pouch in which it catches and carries fish. In the mating season, a horny protuberance appears on the upper mandible. Because of its large size, the pelican has difficulty getting into the air. But once in flight, it is a master of its element. With its great wingspread of 8 to 10 feet, the pelican is extremely buoyant and can soar closer to the waves for a longer period of time than most birds. Closely associated with the pelican is that black-feathered fisherman, the cormorant. For carrying its catch of fish, the cormorant is equipped with a throat pouch. The double-crested cormorant and pelican live mostly on fish, which they capture by swimming and diving. The cormorant is able to stay underwater for 2 or 3 minutes at a time, but it has to come to the surface to eat the fish. The gull utilizes a wider variety of foods. It feeds on toads, mice, frogs, fish, worms, and mollusks. And it aids mankind by helping to dispose of floating refuse in our coastal harbors. Sometimes the gulls wing inland to destroy grasshoppers and other insects that attack the farmers' crops. Nearly 100 years ago, tremendous swarms of grasshoppers swept over the planted fields around Salt Lake City. It seemed as though the crops were doomed, when out of the sky wheeled great flocks of seagulls to swoop down on the hungry hordes of invaders. And today, a monument stands in the heart of Salt Lake City, dedicated to the memory of the seagulls that seemed to appear almost by magic to save the precious crops for the struggling pioneers. While gulls, pelicans, and cormorants are found in great numbers along the Pacific seacoast, when breeding time comes, vast flocks of these winged beauties answer an ancient urge to return to their traditional breeding grounds. For most of these western seabirds, this means flying hundreds of miles inland to remote lakes in the distant Rocky Mountains, where they can raise their young under protected conditions. Every spring sees the amazing flight of the seabirds. Singly, in pairs, and in small groups, the swift-winged gulls, pelicans, and cormorants take to the sky with a single purpose. Lifting themselves on powerful wings, high above the coastal ranges, they drive inland with a strange inherited instinct to small islands in the almost inaccessible highland waters. Day after day, they pour in on a wild flurry of beating wings until it would seem that the small island could hold no more of its feathered tenants. Here they settle down to egg-laying and raising their young. Here, with a moat of water completely surrounding them, they are safe from the forest predators that might otherwise attack them. The alert and wily weasel, the shaggy black bear, the sporty-looking skunk, and the clever red fox. Because of their great numbers, the seabirds offer mutual protection against winged pirates that might otherwise rob them of their eggs and kill their young. Such natural killers of the wilderness as the crow, which annually destroys thousands of eggs of other birds, the quick-witted magpie, and the fierce hawk with its razor-sharp bill and claws. Yes, here on this remote island, the seabirds are as safe as they can ever expect to be, and here they build their nests. Here is the cormorant's nest, built on the beach or the rocky ground with twigs and weeds, and generally containing 2 to 4 greenish, chalky-appearing eggs. The pelican's nest is even simpler. A few twigs on the pebbled or sandy ground, which has been scraped into a heap to hold 2 to 4 chalky white eggs. Simplest of all is the California gulls, a slightly hollowed depression lined with a few sticks and grass in which are laid 3 to 5 eggs that are blue-white to gray-brown in color. Often, there is a difference of several days in the ages of the young, and as in many human families, there are disputes. While mother and father are away looking for food, the older brother or sister picks on the younger one. Say, take it easy, brother. You'll give that little fella a headache. Well, there's nothing that restores harmony like a good square meal, and it takes plenty to keep these young fellas filled up. It looks as though everybody's hungry today. These are young cormorants, and over here the pelicans are calling for the menu. For the first few days, the adult pelicans and cormorants swallow the food, then regurgitate it for their young. Next, they bring back a pouch full of small fish, and Junior picks it out for himself. In a short time, the young gulls and pelicans leave the nests and turn the entire island into a fantastic nursery of stumbling, awkward baby birds. The gull chicks are quick to find their way around. The cormorants stay pretty close to the nest. But the poor young pelicans stumble around like an elephant trying to do a ballet. Still, in a few weeks, they're under control and they take to the water to try their sea legs. It won't be long now before they test their wings and become airborne. And when that time comes, it's farewell to the small island in the Highland Lake in the heart of the Rockies. Now they're ready for the long flight back to the distant sea. Out from the island they go, their wings beating strongly against the sky. Over the massive crest of the Rockies, over the cloud-reaching peaks of the Sierra Nevadas, until they come once more to the wide-stretching Pacific Ocean. And here they take up their old patrols, following the fishing craft and cruising over the foam-flecked waves and the busy harbors in their constant search for food. But next year, in the early spring days, they will turn once more from the restless sea to seek again the distant island in the far mountains, where they will raise new flocks of young. For every bright spring sees again the strange and beautiful flight of the western seabirds to their far-off breeding grounds in the almost inaccessible reaches of the rugged Rocky Mountains.